What is up, guys? Here with the 8th shelf of my action movie collection. Starting off with Wild Things with Kevin Bacon, Matt Dillon, and Nev Campbell. This was an okay, like erotic serial killer type of movie. Only average though, nothing spectacular. Kind of predictable in a way. So I mean, you're not missing much. You're not going to get out of this movie what you think you're going to get out of this movie, but. Then we have Risen with Joseph Fiennes. This one was actually pretty interesting from the, instead of it, it is a religious movie, don't get me wrong, but instead of it being about Jesus, directly from his point of view, it's from the point of view of a soldier sent to police the area. So, I mean, that's a nice take, and it's very well done. Not a cheaply done movie by any means. Then we have Green Lantern. Visual effects were really good for this movie. Unfortunately, the story was not. Martin Campbell did a great job as the director. Ryan Reynolds did great. So did the supporting cast. They did okay. But I don't know. Something was just missing story-wise for this. It made it kind of lame in a way. Leave comments down below to let me know what you think of Green Lantern. Then next we have The Three Musketeers, Paul W.S. Anderson's version. Didn't love this version. I guess I'm more of an old school Disney kind of person. I grew up with the Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, Oliver Platt, Three Musketeers. So this one was nowhere near as good as that one in my opinion. Then we have The Alamo. This one was okay. Again, not super fantastic. Billy Bob Thornton only did average. Dennis Quaid didn't do as good as I thought he would. So, I mean, it's just a meh movie. I mean, it's watchable, but it's not, a must-see, in my opinion. Then we have Frantic with Harrison Ford. A movie that surprised me. One of those movies where you really got to pay attention to what's going on, as it doesn't tell you everything right off the bat. So, I mean, if you love those type of movies, this is definitely the movie for you, kind of like his other movie, Presumed Innocent. So, worth checking out. Then we have Blown Away with Jeff Bridges and Tommy Lee Jones. This was actually a pretty solid action thriller movie. I didn't even know about this movie until I ran across it one day on HBO. And definitely had to check it out. Of course, when I ran across it on HBO, it was almost done. So I had to look up and see what movie these two were in together, and this was it. Worth watching for sure. If you have never seen it before, it's one of those ones that have probably flown under a lot of people's radars, that's for sure. And then next we have Hannah. This movie actually surprised me. It's a pretty violent movie. Wasn't expecting all of that off of a Focus Features movie, but it does it. Cate Blanchett does great in this movie. Eric Bana does phenomenal in this movie. They made the TV series on Amazon based off of this movie as well, which I have not seen that. So I'm going to have to check that out. Comment down below if you've seen the TV series for this and if it's any good. Then next we have 1917. Shot beautifully. I mean, this movie looks like $1 million. I can only imagine what it looks like on 4K. But very well shot, very well done. Interesting story. Keeps you hooked all the way through. It doesn't feel very long at all. 100% check this out if you love war movies. Then we have Kiss the Girls with Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd. Very good murder mystery thriller movie. If you're into that kind of thing, go old school and watch Kiss the Girls for sure. And then we have its sequel, Along Came a Spider. I actually enjoyed this movie more than I enjoyed the first one. Storyline wise anyway. Morgan Freeman does fantastic. It just seemed like a more complex story for this one than Kiss the Girls. So I enjoyed it. Then we have The Chamber with Chris O'Donnell and Gene Hackman. I was expecting a lot out of this movie with these two as the leads. And this movie was boring. I was not... This one didn't really get me hooked. Nothing was, oh, you gotta run out and see this. I mean, I was hoping it was, but it was not. Comments down below if you've seen this before. Then we have Murder in the First. This movie actually surprised me. This is really well done. I mean, every cast member carried their weight. Very interesting story. Definitely, usually they have this on a lot of the streaming sites, so you should be able to find this if you don't want to buy it to watch it. So, I mean, this is older. What is this, like 1994? So, yeah, I've seen this on Netflix. I've seen it on Hulu before. I've seen it on Max. So, if you can find it, you should definitely check it out. Then we have 10 Minutes Gone with Michael Chiklis and Bruce Willis. Big Bruce Willis fan, so I have to try to collect all of his movies. Michael Chiklis was great as Vic Mackey, and he does great in this movie. This is one of Bruce Willis's better straight-to-DVD movies. Bruce Willis is not the main guy, obviously, but Michael Chiklis is. But still worth checking out. This is one of, like I said, a very solid action movie. Then we have Dragonfly with Kevin Costner. Very interesting movie, worth checking out for sure. Big Kevin Costner fan, and this one is just as good as the rest of his movies, in my opinion. I don't want to ruin the concept of this movie. So, yeah, it's definitely a supernatural shocker, but worth checking out. This is one of those ones that kind of skews between either sci-fi or action. So, I just felt it was more of an action movie. Then we have The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nicolas Cage. Solid family action movie, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean in a way, with wizards. So I guess you can say Pirates of the Caribbean meets Harry Potter, only good. The chemistry between Nicolas Cage and him is very good. Absolutely worth watching. One of Nicolas Cage's movies back before he went straight to DVD. Then we have The Contender. Great cast for this movie, and I watched it and it was only okay. It was a made-for-TV thriller with a great cast. So I mean, if you like political movies and you haven't seen this before, you'd probably enjoy it just so that way you don't have to rewatch something you already have watched. I just wouldn't say it's like, go see it now. No, it's not that movie. Then we have Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. Solid movie. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was better than Harry Potter. From the director of the first couple Harry Potter movies. But, I kind of wish they would have kept going with these, but they didn't. So, now they got the TV series, which I'm sure Disney will scrap and then do a tax write-off thing on. So that way we can never see it again. But then we have Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. Just as good as the first one. Very interesting. Love the actors in this this movie series. Like I said, I wish they would have continued with this, just like they did. Insurgent, or was it Divergent? They never finished that series either. So it's like, what a shame. Would have liked to have seen where it would have gone. Then we have Rage with Nicolas Cage. Very solid action thriller movie. One of Nicolas Cage's straight-to-DVD movies, but still very well done. I can say one thing at least. Nicolas Cage, he might be straight-to-DVD, but at least his movies feel like old-school action movies, not like super cheap, horrible movies. So I'll give him that. Then next we have The Family with Robert De Niro and Michelle Pfeiffer and Tommy Lee Jones. Interesting watch. Not as good as I thought it was going to be, but it's still a very solid, funny watch. Lots of action, lots of comedy, lots of violence. You know, worth checking out if you've never seen it before. Then we have Fair Game with Naomi Watts and Sean Penn, based on a true story. Very interesting, very twisted. You know, makes you definitely want to turn against, you know, politics and government in general. I mean, this is definitely the worst of people right here. Then we have Gone with Amanda Seyfried. Very solid thriller movie here. 100% worth checking out. One of those, you know, someone disappears and she's Amanda Seyfried's trying to find her. No one believes her, and it turns out she's right and everyone else is wrong kind of movies. But worth checking out. Solid watch. Then lastly, we have To End All Wars. This one's a tough watch. I mean, it's an older movie, but it's worth watching. The cast alone is great, but just the story in general is just it's a rough watch, at least in my opinion. But you know, to each their own. Comments down below if you've seen this movie and what you thought of it. But that will do it for this shelf. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe. Your support is much appreciated. I'm also over on Letterboxd. The links to that is over in the profile of this channel. Otherwise, until next time, stay warm out there, guys.